Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting, innovating, and amazing Propagandacast from your host, ImperialDane, the one and only master propaganda heroes like defender of the fatherland of it all, one we won on Villa Fiore. Right, of course, from the new patch in the northwest, it is the one and only the ImperialDane himself taking to the field here. This is German army. Deutschland striking forwards here with the HG Panzer Division with coastal battle group here. I'm going for KK2324 Grenadiers here. In the southeast it is KK2324. We'll just be calling him 23 though, because again we do like it when YouTube doesn't demonetize the videos, and we want to play it very safe in this regard. He's gone straight to the Australians here, fighting forwards here with the 53rd Infantry Division. Vickers start here, though not Australian start there, by the way, but no, they typically, you want the Australians out there, but I guess you just want that Vickers out. KK2324 Grenadiers for me. Basically trying out a build I saw Sulu use on his stream, where he basically didn't go for the coastal reservists themselves, but actually relied heavily on the officer to, like, you know, do some heavy lifting around his other troops. So I think, you know what, I'm going to try that because that does look pretty sweet. So that's kind of what I'm doing here with this match. We got the KK23 out. I typically go for KK23s versus the British in particular, because obviously you can just cap a lot faster than the British can do. You can sort of that way get a bit of an edge in a lot of engagements. Got the Pioneers based up north here with the MP40s, the machine and pistol and field using the new full-in-leaf skin, which certainly has a bit of a Waffen-SS look to it. And for those wondering, did only the Waffen-SS actually have those pattern camouflage uniforms? They did not, in fact. They were obviously the primary intended users of them, but the HG Panzer Division actually did get a bunch of them through, shall we say, connections. But also, like, as the war went on and the supply situation became a lot messier, you know, other branches would generally also get their hands on them. As always, big hearty thanks to my Patreon supporters. We've got a bit of engagement here. Not a good engagement for him, obviously. It's like downhill against a unit in heavy cover. He should just withdraw here as soon as possible. Definitely a bad engagement there for Mr. 23 there. Then he's following up here. But yeah, big thanks to all those keep, you know, supporting the Propagandacaster by Patreon. Really helps out a lot. And a big thank you to commenting and liking on my videos. Helps out immensely as well with the YouTube algorithms. Quick man, the cutoff point here. Moving forwards here. Vickers, of course, withdrew again. Just a really unproductive engagement there for the opponent. Up north, the Australian force moving in. Pioneers about to run into the Australians and then have to get out of there. Coordinating my Grenadiers to, you know, focus fire on various targets. Since versus the British, you typically don't want them on their own. Spawn the sappers and munitions point. We can see there already my opponent is aggressively going for the resources. Not a surprise there. Right here, do get too close to the sappers here. Bit of mistake there. KK23 spotted by the regular section here. Interesting to see he's going for mixed Australians and regular section members. I mean, versus the DAC, I understand it, but versus the Wehrmacht, you're typically actually kind of rewarded, at least in the early game, for just going harder on the Australians rather than mixing in regular sections here. Because you don't really, against the Wehrmacht, have to, like, worry about, you know, fast light vehicles nearly as much. You can sort of get away with, like, you know, going harder on the Australians, but 23 here decides to go for something else. He's also gone for defensive tactics, going for Bofors and 17-pounder guns. Pioneers near the cutoff point. Again, I'm just trying to, like, draw him away from the front line. See if I can't force him to waste time just running after my Pioneers. Going for the Panzer Grenadier Company here. Vickers setting up to deal with the German advancing troops. Shouldn't get everything up here. Up north, Australians are busy. Pioneers grabbing the point. Grenadiers being hammered here by the Vickers, taking a lot of damage. Obviously too slow to halt them and just withdraw them. I do get a bit lucky and actually take surprisingly few casualties from it. We got the Australians flanking around here, good move. He could have rushed into the building here, though I'm a bit surprised he actually didn't. Would allow him just to immediately start shooting in the machine gun. But again, theoretically a bit of harass, but again, the way everything is connected here doesn't end up mattering too much. It just slightly, again, forces him to waste time there. KK23 busy down south, laying down some Schützenmine. I've let them a few places in there to, like, you know, make it harder for him to move in, and certainly going for a battle group like Coastal. I don't really have a lot of need for munitions otherwise right away, so again, I can get away with mines. Like, I'm not saving up for MP40s, or it's an LG40 like I'm with Luftwaffe, so just mines. Maybe keep some munitions for a Panzerfaust or two. You might, of course, be wondering why not go for the coastal reservists over the Grenadiers. Well, the Grenadiers are just more flexible. They got grenades. They can merge. So that just, you know, provides them a bit more utility in the longer run compared to, like, you know, the coastal reservists, in my opinion. Not because the others are bad, but again, I do like the Grenadiers in that sense. Again, I do like the utility to provide. Machine gun teaming in here. Panzer Grenadiers on the way. We can see the 23 there is really doing a good job. They're just, moving across the map. He's not like, getting bogged down like one particular engagement. But he is putting a bit of emphasis on the center here. Machine gun there firing down this section. Machine gun here as well. That's it, seeing a lot of damage here. An awful lot of damage, in fact. Got Panzer guns being forced to alter with the new full leaf skin and actually a bit of foliage in the helmets, which was definitely something the Germans did do. As the Germans were probably like during the Second World War, the ones like push most, shall we say, camouflage stuff there compared to the other armies. In terms of uniforms and other techniques. Not to say, that some of the Soviets didn't do as well. They definitely put in some effort there. No mistake, and even the British did. The Americans, not so much. Partly because, again, they had issues with the troops getting confused by camouflage uniforms and kept thinking their own guys were Germans because of that. The Germans were probably the ones like just manufacture like just the largest number of camouflage uniforms and various types of them. So, little fun fact there. Grenadiers being pushed here, but the sappers again, flamethrower team's always quite handy there. Panzering forwards. Also, quick note here, this is actually a reversible Parker there they're wearing, I believe. For those wondering, what on earth does that mean? It basically is like a Parker jacket where they can like just pull the inside out and suddenly, boom, winter uniform. They actually operate with that. I suppose one of those areas where the Germans were at least somewhat efficient. So, little fun fact there. Pack 40 on the way there, the Panzer Abwehr 49. I can't quite get a Stug fast enough here, so I'm going for the Pack 40 in case of like a Humber or Stuart here out of 23, because otherwise I could obviously end up in a really, really bad place. I'm not talking Stalingrad without a winter uniform. Panzer is spotting this section in the south here.
The enemy has taken a victory point.
Moving in with our Sturmgewehre. Ludwig there goes down. Pack 40 almost done. There you go. Also with the full leaf there pattern. I really like it. Partly because again I like that sort of Parker look there on the units there. Sort of gives me that German late war vibe, which I kind of like, or mid-war even. There's actually like, for example, photos of German Panzer Grenadiers and Kharkov with a Parker, though not camouflage, but still, I don't know why, I just like it. Recce section there, upgraded for the Australians. We've got triple sections all here for 23. No light vehicles as of yet. But he's definitely got a lot of troops here. A lot of troops. And there you go. Finally called in the officer. A bit late on that show here, obviously. Bit inefficient, if anything. Also makes me wonder if we're going to get a German officer. Obviously with some different things to do here than the Italian one. South side here, points being grabbed there. Of course, in the German army, the officers, particularly the junior ones, definitely were required to lead from the front, like, be very active in the whole thing. It also led to the Germans suffering from heavy losses amongst their officers. So, that obviously came with a few downsides. Mine's going off here. My Chemcry getting ready too. Grenades there for 23. Obviously not a bad idea. South side MD42 dealing with some sections sneaking about here. Vickers in the center. And here, arguably, he could try and be a bit more active with the machine gun. I mean, obviously, get one to cover the center and control the center, but it's not that risk either then when, like, I use my stuff more freely and I just avoid the center to a degree here. Camcrat knocked out a grenade. Good well, of course, here for 23. He briefly considered the Stuart light tank, but in this case, decided against it. Perhaps signing one to take up, which I don't blame him for either. Going for the support bunkers, just in case. Just in case.
The ability is ready.
Grenadiers, pioneers on the move here, flanking the Vickers machine gun, pushing it back.
Ready to be deployed.
Panzer Grenadiers, team veterans won the push for the fuel point here. But again, overall, executing the strategy there, messing with my opponent's fuel income, trying to slow it down, and again, just gaining me as much of a lead as possible. Of course, at this point, I should be soon starting to push for a Stug at least, though. It's a quick side note there. Go. Bit of movement here. Officer moving in with his M38 Beretta, and of course a bunch of guys with Kakana bolt action rifles. Section engaging. Well, known, of course, he hasn't had munitions really to upgrade any of his other sections, so obviously focus on the Australian sections and the sappers, which is honestly not a bad idea. A Stug 3D there for me, finally. Pushing forward to the section into the German ship supported by the Italian officer. He's yet to get to Veterans 1 where, of course, the fun stuff really starts happening, which is kind of what I wanted to test out. Again, his ability to boost nearby units. But again, the ability to call in artillery overwatch is still really, really handy. And particularly, the opponent is a bit lazy. Got Ralph grenades being unleashed against the Grenadiers, and I just end up withdrawing. I'm not feeling too confident about this engagement, and I'm in other respects fairly ahead here, so losing the center temporarily isn't going to be like, a big loss for me. At this point, I suspect he's going to try and push for the company command post. Not a bad idea. I'm obviously not threatening too much with, say, armor, so he's not really required. Of course, Stuke has finally hit, adding the Pinamati machine give out. Do need some healing against the prioritizing the Stuke. My plan is to go for the medic bunker.
Commandant, territory sector. Our enemy has
Look, that way get healing, but also cash recovery, meaning I can get troops back for free. So there's a bit of, synergy there. Plus, if you're like me, and again, you like, having a lot of infantry, again, the medic bunker, also in that sense, is just a very good investment, because, again, you will just naturally produce more casualties. So, again, it just paces off a bit better compared to just got a few squads. It might just be more worth it to go for the medic upgrade directly. But, again, counter event on priorities, again, like, munitions versus fuel, and other such matters.
Will be a medical facility momentarily.
So obviously these kind of things will depend a bit on your various perspectives. Going here for artillery tripwire flares. Interesting, most players I think prefer the auto repair ability here. Not saying that this is a bad one at all, it's quite solid as well. But I do find a lot of Brett players really like the auto repair, because again it just means, for example, your light vehicles become tanky, your medium stuff becomes tanky, and of course your heavy stuff becomes a lot tankier. So there's obviously a big incentive there as well.
Panzer Grenadier Company is being
Panzer 4 taking focus down here. Got the officer quarters on the way here. Drain. Oh, the British forces are being ripped apart by the Panzer Grenadiers and the Sturmgewehre. Taking the losses there. Vickers routed.
A capture point is being overrun.
Stug still moving at 6-pounder gun almost done. Big 2 points wise, it's fairly close so far. Fairly close.
The enemy has claimed our sector.
We got the machine here also being overwhelmed. Bit risky position there for me, to be honest. But in this case, I end up not being harshly punished for it, though it could have been. There you go, medic bunker up. Pioneers off their base in the center. We got the 6-pounder gun. We got the section, the Vickers on the way there. Guessing foot guards next, or maybe a Matilda there. Crusader, of course, is also an option.
Victory point is under enemy control.
Quick rushing in here. Gonna go in for a point-blank blast, I believe, here, because I rather like it, and it is a very good way to dissuade enemy infantry from sticking around for too long. Apparently didn't. There you go. Big push here by 23, moving out the center here. Ready to rebuff the Germans there from the center. Maybe also hunt my down my Stug. I'm going for second Stug. Because typically you always want multiple of Stugs, in my opinion. There's always a chance you get swarmed or something else. And obviously, while I do have the Pack 40, the Pack 40 can't be everywhere at the same time. Stug turning around here. Pioneers routed. Mr. 23, they're slowly moving in. Did notice something else. I'm basically trying to flank around here, going for a bit of a deeper maneuver here. Panzer's attack from another angle. Bit risky push, and there you go, calling in the artillery barrage here as well as the Stug charges in. That said, I probably need more stuff here to sort of push off for this assault, and I'm basically going in deep with too small a force here. This is definitely me screwing up somewhat here, getting a bit too overconfident here. Almost got the machine gun. The Stug ends up taking a lot of damage, going to get snared up. Again, I went in too deep, and just crucially, I just didn't have enough forces nearby. Panzer Grenadiers moving up, but again, will be too late here, and I'm going to lose a Stug. So that was me kind of throwing away the Stug there. Again, should have waited a bit longer, brought in more units. Instead, I got too impatient, which admittedly is a flaw I do have from time to time, Cannot deny that. Meanwhile, we can see there, 23 is bringing up the Crusader tank. So I'm busy withdrawing my forces a bit more to a safer position for now. Go, officer reinforced. Further south, the alone Grenadiers can be hunted down by the Australians. Got some Bren guns up there for 23, thumbs up. Obviously a very solid upgrade there for your troops, and particularly got some training. It can really add some anti-infantry power there to your side. South side here, just in withdrawing the Grenadiers, going for another Stuke, since obviously blew the other one up. And got coal reserves here for some potential free reinforcements down the road. Amongst other things. Obviously moving in here, but getting caught by the Vickers machine gun. Let's quickly force withdraw. Up north here, Pioneer spotting section here, but quickly be losing Jurgen. Already hits a British marksmanship there with the Lee Enfield Mark IV rifle. Second Sturmgeschütz, almost done. Flanking around here again. I kind of sort of like have an idea what he's doing his stats again. Moving in here for the north. This is surprisingly, I think, solid. Yeah, that said, my plan gets ruined here by the Crusader tank arriving. And we can see that he's playing quite aggressively with it, looking to hit me as hard as possible there. Second Sturmgeschütz ready. Stuke 3G. Backbone of the German Panzerwaffe. And the rest of the German army, to be honest. Up north here, sections withdrawing. We got all 3 victory points under control here. 23 again here, Grenadiers moving in, supported by the Stuke machine gun from the other side here. Further south here, Gutmering for the south side of the map here, swinging around the main centre there, as I'm arguably committing a bit too much here. Pack 40 joining in, 6 pounding gun fire at the Stuke. Troops being suppressed here. And there go Pack 40 getting flanked by the Australians, forcing the other Stuke to commit. Slightly watering down my assault here, and the other Stuke is still getting hammered, need to withdraw it. Point blank blast against the Australians, got more Pioneers being brought up. And, well, I kind of realised by now I definitely need more Pioneers to repair my things. Bren section, there's the Pioneers here, the Bren gun doing great work there against those Bloody Jerrys.
Pioneers are reporting for duty.
Almost cost me in the Pioneer squad, and I might actually end up losing it if I'm really unlucky. 6 pounding gun number 2 on the way, Fort 23, opposite response to all my Stugs. Minus Sturmgeschütze. Pack 40 in ambush mode. Panzer is charging in against the Bren section. Storming in for Deutschland.
New ability online.
And got coastal wall there. Crusader hanging back. I feel like he could be more active right now on the north side. Like he's giving me way too much freedom here up north, while he's focusing too much in the center here. Definitely something I always want to be careful about. That said, Villa Fiore, due to the way I think it's a map that's a bit too small and the center's a bit too dominant, it kind of, to an extent, forces you up there, but even there, you still want to try and, like, push for the rest of the map, particularly, like, up north here, where there's just not really a lot for it to, like, say, threaten his Crusader tank at the moment, so I do feel like he's getting a bit too tunnel vision on the center. But again, I don't blame him entirely for it, because, again, as said, the map kind of encourages, if not straight up forces you to have tunnel vision around the center at times. Kind of one of the reasons why I'm not a big fan of this map. Again, prefer maps like Samoa. In this sense, size is important when it comes to maps. Obviously there, they're calling in artillery here from a pair of nearby Italian mortar batteries. And there we go. We actually got a 17 pounder gun being set up here by 23. Nice little thing there. And again, further highlights, of course, the focus on the center. They can also arguably somewhat cover around here as well, so it's not necessarily a bad position, though as soon as I do spot it, and I do spot it, I am going to build a Nebelwerfer to try and, you know, deal with it somewhat at least.
Our front line failed.
There you go, 17 pounder gun up for Mr. 23. This is an older model of the 17 pounder gun they're using for that particular purpose. Got the Pioneers to the section in the south. Dukes hanging back. Of course, I could also be more active with them elsewhere, though again, the Crusaders and the 17 pounder gun, to at least some extent, actually forced me to be a bit more passive with them for now, because obviously if I move in blindly in the south, the 17 pounder gun could knock out my assault guns, and then I'd be a very, very sad day and upset. Now the Crusader here for 23. Surprised he keeps going for Crusaders in that sense. Not because I think they're bad, but there's definitely a clear preference from most Brit players at the moment for Matildas or Grants. But so far it seems like he's preferring the speedier Crusader. There, going Nebelwerfer barrage off here, bombarding the 17 pounder gun position. Obviously, big priority target. Up north here, British forces routing my Grenadiers, recapturing the north side here. We got 230 versus 216. He's doing a reasonably good job. They're keeping the victory point sort of situation fairly close, and kills wise is definitely not too far off either. definitely not all smooth sailing either. We got a supply truck out there. Also sneaking up, basically to this spot for Paxi to engage the 17 pounder gun emplacement. Also getting Veteran 2. And gaining another casualty as the Crusaders just pummel them there. Now, these are the Mark II and Mark III Crusaders. Early model had a 2 pounder gun. Later models had a 6 pounder gun there, as you might notice. So that's a nice little highlight there of the difference between the two there. Even more fun fact is the Crusader Mark III turret, even if would actually see service on the AC Mark III armored cars. Actually, not the AC, it was the Staghound armored cars towards the end of the war. Even when the Crusader tank subbed into service, they still make use of the turret and the gun on some armored cars, basically outgunning it. So, little fun fact there. But yeah, managed to decrew the 17 pounder gun. He's still repairing, but he's not crewing it here. That's a bit of a mistake, honestly, by him, because you kind of catch me here with my Stooks diving in to try and finish it off here. I was actually surprised he didn't do that while I was playing the match. I was definitely thinking I'm playing too risky here, but somehow it worked out for me. Up north, in the left fire, hammering his positions here. Australians pushing in there. Slightly looking to unhinge my northern flank. South side, Crusaders obviously a bit concerned. 6 pounder gun crew is burning up. And the enemy fortress is just spraying anything else with lead for the glory of Deutschland. Sturmgeschütze pushing forwards. Supply truck there finally done, pulling away there. Looks like he's going to go for the Archer here next. Not a bad choice, obviously. Very strong calling unit there.
Grenadiers, back to full strength.
Reinforcing and healing course, doing so at a fairly discounted rate, thanks to the medic bunker there, at least getting some casualties back in good order. Heading north with the officer. Certainly haven't really had much chance to show off the veterans' vulnerability in this match so far with it. Bit of a shame. Crusaders, of course, they're also in heavy need of repairs. At this point, I imagine his priority is just the Archer. Now, I'm actually going to build a pack bunker partly as a response to the 17 pounder gun, just so you know what, I'm dissatisfied with you with that one.
The enemy has 200 points and
Plus, again, the way he just keeps folks in the center the way he does also further encourages me to build a pack bunker. So I'm kind of building it in part again, you know, to show dissatisfaction. And because, again, he just keeps charging at the center. So it kind of feels like, you know, I'm encouraged to go for the pack bunker here as well. But in that regard. There we go. Further south, again, he's finally extending a bit more pressure there as well, but he's once more overall, though, executing another push in the center. I'm going for the Panzer Company now, deciding to bring in something a bit bigger here. And we got 17 pounder tote guns being brought up here. Interesting choice when he's got the Archer as well. I suspect it hints he's not perhaps confident he can actually get out the Archer in time, so he wants to have the 17 pounder gun just in case. Though, of course, the Nebelwerfer kind of makes the 17 pounder gun a bit questionable. There's certainly a lot of discussion to be had there, arguably. Further southeast section, basically Stooks are counterattacking with Pioneer support. Again, the pack bunker also means, you know, I can sort of free up my Stooks, but when I got a pack 40 supporting that. So I don't have to worry about, you know, sudden rush on the center and being completely full unprepared. There you go. Point blank blast, scoring a white because point blank blast is pretty solid. After all those pathing change improvements to casemate guns. Yeah, I absolutely love that ability. Of course, you have to be a bit smart about how you use it, but if you are smart about it, you can really inflict heavy casualties on your opponents, like even wiping squads or, you know, tearing the teeth out of blobs in a most visceral manner. But there you go, pushing forward to the Crusaders. Pack bunker, they're laying down heavy fire here. Second pack 40, they're hanging back here. Grenadiers being blasted, we can see there, 23 and the British are forced to withdraw here from the assault leads for the tanks because, again, the pack bunker is absolutely ripping through the Crusaders. Stooks charging in there. Up north here, men are being mauled by the MD-42 here. And up north here, British forces pushing off the officer. I think at this point he might be hoping to go for that Archer soon enough. I believe he can actually do so. Yep, there we go. Archer, self-propelled anti-tank gun. Moving backwards here, technically. So this is technically the front of the Valentine tank, but they couldn't quite make the gun work that way, so they basically had to, like, you know, have it always reversing in a sense. Little fun fact. It did, of course, allow for shoot and scoot tactics, if you will.
Engines running.
Still, little fun fact there. Would be one of many tank destroyers the British Army would put out with 17 pounder guns mounted on them. He's being hammered here. We got the pack bunker under fire. We got the 6-pounder gun. We got the archer there blasting away at the pack bunker. Concrete there. Peeling off there in massive chunks. Pack bunker though stands resolute in the face of all this British nonsense. For now at least. A lot of shots suddenly can't hit it. He's actually sending the Crusaders, I think, to just, like, you know, give some better line of sight. We can actually finish off the pack bunker here.
Understood. MG-42 upgrade on the way.
Got the pack bunker, but it comes at the cost of a Crusader tank, which is a pretty bad trade here for 23 and a pretty good one for me. I'm also setting up machine gun bunker to cover the southern point here. Center again, though, continues to be putting most of his efforts, which also means I know where to point most of my guns. And that in itself can be a big tactical advantage on the defense, is just knowing where to point your guns. Machine gun bunker almost done. British forces rushing in. 224 versus 46. Got the machine gun bunker here busy. Stuke's hanging back there up north here. Panzer gun is moving forwards. And there you go. Pack and Archer being brought up here to deal with the machine gun bunker as well there. Even got the Crusader here. And there you go. Seeing an opportunity to flank in with the Stooks. Perhaps I should do that, but sometimes I do things I really shouldn't. Charging the Stooks here, though. Going in for the fatherland. Going for that Archer here. Almost got it already. Grenadiers following up. They're lacking assault infantry. There you go. Got the Archer. Almost got the 6-pounder gun. There you go. Successfully got it. He's down to 4 points. 1 point. And there we go. GG. Game over. Bit of a shorter match, and again I do apologise for the brevity of this one, but bit of a shortage of replays here again after the massive hotfix they threw out like a day after the patch. So again, trying to catch up here, but there's just seemingly not a lot of replays being posted at the moment. So again, I do apologise, and I've just not really received much, if any. So again, it's a bit of a tough situation. So I have to make do with what I have, which is typically the answer to any question like, you know, why didn't you cast this or that, or like, you know, longer matches or whatnot. Sometimes I just don't have the choice. So hopefully, you know, this will be resolved in the next couple of days, but for now at least I just have to make do with what I had. I thought this one still had some merit just to highlight, you know, new type of strategies. Again, I feel like I could have done more with the officer here. So either way, though, hope you enjoyed it. Hope you learned something from it. If you did, subscribe, like, share, comment, tell your friends, tell your family, and as always, you can support the Propagandacast by donating up later on Patreon. Every bit helps. And this is ImperialDane. Cheers, and see you all tomorrow for another episode. Bye, everyone.